I think, first of all, I should tell listeners to Roxby, he made about 8 albums, to my reckoning anyway, and one of the early ones had people like Van Dyke Parks.
The very first one, in fact. Yeah.
And you've changed directions many times, I think, and used a lot of musicians. I mean, for instance, can you recall that first album with Van Dyke Parks?
Yeah, well, we met, we were living in the same hotel, apartment building, I'm sorry, in, outside of Hollywood, and the drummer, Billy Mundy, was rooming with him, and Jim Fielder was with me, who later went with Blood, Sweat and Tears, and we just got a band together, and I got the first contract, so we did an album. Mm-hmm. That was basically it. Plus, we recorded, we helped the Byrds record their first album. Mm-hmm. We did studio work for them.
Yeah.
And,
well, that would be the era of Mr. Tambourine Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that particular album.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you actually do on that?
Played Roger's solo. Then he learned how to play guitar later. It was, I know it sounds ruthless, but it was pretty much true.
Yeah.
But and then Van Dyke finally got his own contract with Warner's and did Song Cycle, and a couple of things after that.
And what did you do following that? I mean, were you then a session musician or not?
I did a few things in and out then, but when I got my contract with Elektra, I just started writing more and more, 4 albums. Then we did Goodbye and Hello, and just kept progressing, you know, song-wise and musically.
I know that you have a particular thing about the voice in rock and roll. You have a very good voice. A lot of people don't, and I gather you're rather critical of that.
There's always room for another good singer. You know, there never seems, I mean, maybe not room for another great guitarist, something like that, because, you know, there are a lot of guitarists and a lot of saxophone players, I'd say. But the voice is really hard to have a personality and develop that. I mean, it takes a long time to become a singer. Someone like Stevie Wonder now, I mean, you know, when he started and to where he is now, I mean, it's really a long time, you know. People that have it naturally, let's say like Ray Charles or something like that, I mean, you know, who knows where they come from, or Nat King Cole, or your girl Cleo Lane, you know, come out of nowhere and they've been great always. But some people actually can develop singing, you know. So I don't know what's going to happen, like with people that sing, like, you know, the scream rock and roll thing happening now. They may develop, you know. If they find something that they like, they may develop.
I mean, what about a voice like Rod Stewart, then?
Well, I don't know, you know, I think it's hopeless. No, he might, I don't know, he sings well for what he does and for what he wants to do. And obviously if he wanted to do something else, he'd probably develop towards it, you know. Now,
I said that you do change direction. What causes those changes? And also, your career, does it further your career?
In America, to a certain audience, it does. To, let's say, like the Dean Martin audience, no. You know, that type of audience. Like, to people who like music, you know, it's refreshing to them. To me, it's an integral part of what I am, because I can't write the same thing over and over again. So that's either my problem or my virtue, you know. And I don't know, and whatever I hear, I try to sing it, and then try to write it, you know. And that's pretty much, I think, the fact with most singer-songwriters, you know. If you talk to any of them, I know they have they just try to express, you know, as much as they can. And that's where it's at, you know. That's the art of it.
What are you going to do next when you get back to America?
Well, we've recorded half an album, so we'll be finishing that. And then my real project is to record a live album, a double album. And I'm in the process now of going through everything I've done to see what I'll put on it. And that's where I'm at now. I'm just sort of reviewing everything.
And how will you go on for musicians? I mean, so you're going to record your sort of musical history.
Yeah.
Will you get those musicians like Van Dyke Parks and people like that back? Or?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start deciding on who can do what. You know, I have to switch. It'll be in a club in San Francisco, so I'll probably have to break it up into 4 days, and concentrate on a certain style for each day of recording. Let's say, you know, with a live remote truck and everything like that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to come to grips with that, and to see if they'll work, or, you know. But getting them to go to Frisco isn't really that hard, you know.
Now let's talk about, or at least you talk about your album, and if you could introduce a few tracks from it for us.
Okay. Well, one I didn't write. I think you might like to play a song called The Dolphin Song, and that's by Fred Neil. He's a very good friend of mine, and I think it's a very good song. It took me a long time to learn how to sing it, because he's one of the greatest singers that I know of, anyway. And finally I called him up and asked him to come see me play and see if it would be all right if I recorded the song, and gave me the go-ahead, so that's why we did The Dolphins. That was The Dolphins. I think next what I'd like the people here to hear is the title song, Sophronia, which is in 2 parts in Europe. It's actually all one tune in the release in America, but something to do with the law here. Something like if there's 2 titles, it has to be 2 separate cuts. So what you're not going to hear is the transitional musical piece that took me 4 months to write, because it's faded out in the middle. But I can assure you it's great. The song itself took me a long time to write, and it's done in 1 take. And what I did was sit down with the guitar and do it, and then we orchestrated later for it. And it's pretty much self-explanatory. It's the irony of the slave name Sophronia is what it is, and also from an Ethiopian fable, which is called "I Have a Cow in the Sky, but I Can't Drink Her Milk." It just deals with the irony that man thinks he controls woman, but doesn't, and vice versa. Oh, let's see, next song, Because of You, I think I'd like to hear that. Other than Sweet Surrender, which was on the album before this, Greetings from L.A., I think Soulfully is my best for that type of song. And see, Joe Falcia is on it, playing guitar, and Bernie Meiser on bass, Buddy Helms on drums, myself on 12-string. And I kind of like it. It has a good African Latin feel. I kind of like that. Plus it has a good pattern, good melody.